Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, Florida, we are all seeing in each one of these states a whole lot of momentum for early votes. That's important. That's a consideration. Think about Illinois, the state of Illinois. Do you know that in 2020, they got 3.6 million ballots mailed in by Democrats? 3.6 million. That's a lot of ballots, right? And of course, they all went for Biden. In 2022, they got 1.6 million. I give you that number as a frame of reference. Back in 2018, they got 1.4 million. So, you could probably count on 1.4 to 1.6 million Democrat ballots being mailed in the state of Illinois. I mean, 3.6 would be the outlier, right? Because it was 2020. Guess how many votes they now have being mailed in from Democrats in 2024? Not even a million. Not even a million. So 990,000 votes are being cast in the state of Illinois for Democrats. Well, that's certainly nothing like the 3.6 million, and certainly nothing like you used to get there in Illinois. So what does it tell you? Democrats are not excited about this lady. Go to Wisconsin. This is something to see. My gosh, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you Wisconsin. Okay, I know it's a lot to look at on the screen. This is by a group called L2 that's gathering all of this data. And they're looking at Wisconsin, and they're looking at who is actually sending in the ballots now. Let me direct your eyes. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, thank you for that, or Spotify, thank you for that. Don't forget to leave us 5 stars and a nice little message, nice little rating there. If you're watching on YouTube, terrific. Join the live conversation. Make sure you hit the bell and you subscribe. Look at that, 37 to 41%. It tells you Republicans are actually up. Wow, in Wisconsin, they're up 4 points. But wait a second, that's not what the Bloomberg poll is telling me. I mean, I'm not even seeing that kind of stuff in the New York Times. Now, are we? No, we're not. And yet, go back to something like this. The Gallup survey that talks about the issues that are so important to voters, and historically, where have you seen the edge go to? Republican, 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 Republican. U.S. satisfaction. Nobody's satisfied with the U.S. right now. So the advantage goes to certainly not the incumbent. Certainly not Kamala, but the Republicans. Economic confidence, that goes to Republicans. Party better able to keep America prosperous. That's seen right now as being the Republican advantage. Presidential job approval, again, we got a big Republican advantage on that one. You get 39% approval for Mr. Joe Biden. So guess what? All of this stuff adds up to some things that I'm not actually seeing reflected in the polls right now. Let's go to Virginia for a moment. Okay, Virginia's interesting. In Virginia, they get a lot of absentee ballots coming in, but guess what? Not as many as they had last time around. In fact, they're down 1.3 points in terms of the number of Democrat ballots they have coming in versus Republicans, up 7.7. This is according to Target Early. And then in Miami-Dade County, on this day, well, actually a couple weeks in advance, they were actually up 13 points. So they were plus advantage 13 in Miami-Dade County. Miami-Dade County today, Democrats are up 3.1. It's in terms of the absentee ballot. So what is it telling you? There's no enthusiasm. There's no excitement. This woman is not really bringing them out of the woodwork, so to speak, which is something that was actually noticed in the Daily Beast. Let me go to this one for you. The Daily Beast writing, the clock is ticking and Kamala Harris is not yet where she should be in the must-win battleground states. For all the joy and energy she is to Democrats, inexplicably behind where Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton were in their respective races against Donald Trump. So in other words, this woman's not even doing as well as Hillary, nor as well as Joe. And that was a close election. Wow. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you why it is. I mean, nobody wants more the same. Nobody wants the woman who is actually in charge of the administration as vice president to be continuing on in any kind of way, shape, or form, because we get a lousy economy, we get a terrible international situation, and we get a heck of a bad situation on our border. So that's a problem. Of course, they're trying to spin it here, and the Daily Beast writes, the good news for Harris is that, you know what, she's got room to grow. Millions of voters are still reachable and persuadable, and she only needs thousands in the handful of key states. The bad news is that guess what? Time indeed is running out. Tick tock, tick tock. So she's got a problem because here she is trying to say, I'm going to improve the economy. I'm going to improve the economy. I'm going to bring in manufacturing jobs. She's trying to campaign in the state of Pennsylvania, where she promised to end fracking jobs, right? Those are kind of important in the state of Pennsylvania. And now she's like, no, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. People are like, well, what did you mean? We don't really know what she means because she's all over the place. Let me show you the Monmouth poll that came out yesterday. Again, I'm not buying this. 45 to 48, you mean to tell me she's got a 3-point advantage among the people of Pennsylvania that are really up against it economically, that feel like their guy, their hometown guy, right, was tossed aside for the likes of Kamala Harris? It's not really working.